The sun burned bright over Egypt, casting its golden rays across the bustling Nile River. The land was rich and powerful, ruled by Pharaoh, a man who held the hearts of his people in fear and awe. But Pharaoh's heart was hard, his pride unwavering. He had refused the pleas of Moses, a man sent by the God of the Israelites to let the Hebrew slaves go free. And so a battle began. Not one fought with swords, but with the power of heaven itself. Each encounter between Moses and Pharaoh unveiled wonders and terrors beyond human comprehension, as the might of God unfolded before the eyes of a trembling nation. The first sign came as Moses stretched his staff over the waters of the Nile. In an instant, the life-giving river turned to blood. Fish floated lifeless to the surface, and the stench of death filled the air. The vibrant Nile, once a source of joy and sustenance, had become a flowing symbol of divine wrath. The Egyptians cried out, desperate for clean water. Wells dug near the banks yielded no relief, as even underground streams carried the curse. Pharaoh stood firm. "I will not let them go," he declared, his voice a cold echo of defiance. 7 days passed, and Moses returned. This time, frogs poured into the land, hopping into homes, ovens, and even Pharaoh's palace. The croaks became a deafening symphony of judgment, a mockery of Egypt's supposed gods. Pharaoh's advisors pleaded with him, but his pride would not yield. The frogs seemed to multiply with every passing moment, their slimy forms covering the floors, tables, and beds. Desperate for relief, Pharaoh called for Moses and promised freedom. Yet, as soon as the frogs were gone, he hardened his heart again, as if the memory of their torment had been swept away with the tides. Then came the gnats, swarming from the dust of the earth, biting and relentless. They covered man and beast alike, their numbers blotting out the horizon. Every breath carried the sting of their presence. Pharaoh's magicians, powerless to replicate this plague, whispered, "This is the finger of God." Yet Pharaoh's stubbornness did not waver. Next, flies descended upon the land, a buzzing plague of chaos that spared only the land of Goshen, where the Israelites dwelled. The contrast was stark, a testament to divine protection. Still, Pharaoh refused to yield, his grip on power tightening as his kingdom began to unravel. The fifth plague struck the livestock. Horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, all perished, leaving the fields silent and empty. The wealth and livelihood of Egypt began to crumble, the once prosperous land now marred by loss. With every breath, a sense of dread deepened among the people. Pharaoh's priests sought solace in rituals, offering incense to their gods, but the heavens remained silent. The cries of the people rose to Pharaoh's ears, but his pride stood tall, unbending even in the face of ruin. When Moses stretched his hands toward the sky, the sixth plague erupted. Boils and sores broke out on every Egyptian, from the poorest servant to Pharaoh himself. Pain and suffering swept the land like a tidal wave. Even Pharaoh's magicians could not stand before Moses, their bodies racked with agony. In the shadows of the palace, whispers spread of divine punishment. Yet Pharaoh's heart remained as stone, unmoved by the anguish of his people.